Well, Ray French is on hand at the Addington Showgrounds, and I suppose having a close association with the British team, there's no better person to assess the confidence of the British side. Hello, Ray.
Hello, Philip. Well, welcome New Zealand, Australia and the people back home there in England through a very wet and very windy Addington Showgrounds here in Christchurch. But I can tell everyone that the enthusiasm here is absolutely electric, and certainly the weather hasn't dampened the spirits. I was with the Great Britain side this morning and they're really wanting to get going. I was looking out of the window with the Great Britain prop Kevin Ward. I said, "What do you think, Kevin? It's pouring down with rain." He turned to me and he said, "Ray, just let me get at them." And that, I think, has been the feeling in the camp since that tremendous win over Australia last week. Ellery Hanley's had a slight stomach complaint yesterday, but he's okay. The lads have trained well, and Coach Mulreilly, there may be a few nerves, there may be one or two upsets, but I'm very, very sure that he's ready to go. But I think, Tony, it's going to be the same in the Kiwi camp, I'm sure.
Ray, I'm sure it is. The players are on the field. Let's just have a look at the team rundowns. Let's look at this Great Britain side with Phil Ford at fullback. The wings, Offia and Gill, Lachlan and Stevenson in the centres, Hume at standoff, and the man who may very well dictate the entire way this game goes, Andy Gregory, who's one of those rare players who can really change the face of a game with his game at halfback. Hanley, the captain, and the loose forward. The second row, Powell and Gregory. Waddle, Beardmore and Ward. Beardmore being the only change from the side that beat Australia in the third test. For New Zealand, Darryl Williams at fullback. Holo and Mercer, the wings. Ito and Bell, the world-class centre combination. Shane Cooper, the playmaker, along with Clayton Friend at halfback. Mark Holo is on the back. Mark Graham and Sam Stewart in the second row. And Brown, Willis and Shelford as they run onto the paddock now. And tumultuous applause from the crowd. And Gary Campbell, I think it would be a shame if two teams with as much potential for running football are reduced to kicking because of the conditions today.
That's right. I think the game's going to be done by tactical kicking today. But we could see some good football, especially from the Kiwis. They've played under these conditions before, and they have played good football. So, and on both sides, they've got a lot of talent.
It's only a few years ago that this very same ground that we were sitting here and you were playing, I think. And it looked as though it was going to be an absolutely abysmally bad day in terms of rugby league, and yet the Kiwis went out and threw it round and right from the outset just dictated play.
That's right. I think this is going to happen today as well, and I think Great Britain will try and spin the ball about as well. But I think the tactical kicking by both Darryl Williams and Paul Lachlan in both teams will be vital.
As you can see, some attempts on the paddock here to get the crowd to sing the New Zealand national anthem, which we're just about to hear. There is the New Zealand team mascot, Hemetoa. Plenty of spirit, certainly in the grandstand here. There has never been a build-up in my history of rugby league anyway, as intense as the build-up for this match between Great Britain and New Zealand, which has become now the semi-final for the World Cup. There's Mick Stone, the Australian referee, meeting both the captains, Ellery Hanley and Dean Bell. And as Ray French has pointed out during the week, there will be a lot of fans in Great Britain probably unsure of just who they should be cheering for, because a lot of the New Zealand players, of course, are as well known in Great Britain as they are here. In the places like Wakefield, Widnes, Wigan, Warrington, Hull, Huddersfield, Bradford and Barrow. Sometimes they do it before a match, sometimes they do it at the end of a match. There's the challenge. Lachlan to start for Great Britain. Man who has played at fullback and at centre, and has really been one of the stalwarts of this Great Britain side. In the centres today with David Stevenson. And it will become apparent very, very quickly just how slippery this ground is. We had a curtain raiser a few moments ago, and they were slipping all over the place. Graham for the Kiwis. To Mercer. Expect strong tackling from both sides, particularly early on. Now there's just the first indication of how slippery the ball is. It'll be a physical encounter early on as well.
Yes, I think it's going to be tough tackling their first 10 minutes, Tony. There's going to be real physical, especially up front. Adrian Shelford, Peter Brown will have to bear with these two front rowers with Waddle and Kevin Ward.
Kevin Ward, one of the outstanding players of this Great Britain tour. There's Gregory. And Hume is almost there. The pass comes up. Great Britain are in. No, they're not.
Let's give them a try. Let's give them a try.
He has. Well, some indecision there as they appeal to the referee, and Lachlan has the try. Let's have a look at that again.
Yeah, it came down the blind side. Andy Gregory picked the ball up from the scrum, put Hume through. Looked as though he was going to score, but a good diving, saving tackle. And the ball actually came off Kevin Ero. He couldn't hold it. Yes, he towed it on and picked it up cleanly, and Paul Lachlan went in for the try. Perfect try. Good decision by the referee here, but it was a good blindside move. Shane Cooper was missed the tackle there. Good covering tackle by Mark Horrow. Kevin Ero couldn't hold on to the ball, and Paul Lachlan towed it on and went over for the try.
Just a moment's indecision, but the looks of appeal from the Great Britain side were rewarded. And Lachlan has first blood for Great Britain. 4-0 with the extra 2 now. See if he can add them. Not even close. Oh, Ray French, good morale booster for Great Britain early on.
A tremendous morale booster, Tony. And it was as we were saying before the match that the torrential rain, luck was going to play a part. And I mean, that was a well-taken try by Great Britain with an element of luck. But you know, that kick by Paul Lachlan, they could be crucial in the end. The goal kicks here could be vital by the time we get to the end of this game.
And I think the ball looking more slippery than it will be for the duration of the game once it gets wet through.
It certainly is. It's one of those balls that you play with over here in New Zealand. The leathery balls are not like the ones that we have back home, and they're very difficult to play with. Could play a big factor in this match.
Mark Otto with the tackle. That's Mike Gregory, the blonde-haired Great Britain player. No relation to Andy Gregory. Certainly some stern tackling from Amy Shelford.
This Mark Horrow had a quiet game last week, but it looks as though he's really into it today.
Certainly looks keen, doesn't he? Full forward, the fullback. Well caught. That was Peter Brown up there very quickly. This is a fired-up Kiwi side. Now they're not letting them go anywhere.
They'll kick it this time, get it down there.
Lachlan
putting the pressures on.
trying to kick them out of trouble. There's going to be a lot resting on kicks today. Hero. And Kevin Ito will want to make amends for that mistake, which he can hardly be blamed for. The ball just so slippery. He was one of three who fumbled it. Mercer. Well caught. Their energy-sapping tackles. Shelford. is going to be another key to this game. Graham just 5 metres short of the line now. Coming left, through Friend. Cooper just stepping out of the first tackle, caught in the second. Sammy Stewart waiting. Friend, the bomb. Who's up under that? Nobody's ball. Oh, that ball really is so slippery. This, I think, Ray, you're right. It's going to be a game of luck.
It certainly is going to be a game of luck, and I wouldn't like to be a full-back. I know, Gary, you and I were chatting, and it was a game you would rather miss out on.
That's right. It's very difficult conditions out there. Right at the start of the game, the ball's become very slippery.
Hanley waits. Great Britain captain, Ellery Hanley. Playing in what I think is his natural position of loose forward. Kevin Ward.
Gee, the Kiwis tackling is very fierce at the moment, isn't it? They're getting up in threes and knocking them over.
They're certainly not letting them go anywhere. Giving anyone a yard of movement. There's one man that really might just break this side apart. He was the key to it in Australia. Handing there to Okia. But Andy Gregory is going to be the key as the chase is on. Going screaming back for it. In fact, was Wayne Wallace.
Gee, that was brilliant play by Wayne Wallace there. He showed some speed, didn't he?
Well, he looked to be the fastest man on the paddock, and he certainly isn't. Absolute determination from Wallace going back and saved what could have been a try with a break made by Gregory, the danger man.
I certainly think this would have been a try. Here, Martin Afire, no doubt about it, getting into full stride. When he puts this kick in, definitely obstructed. Just look at the shoulder charge coming in there. But all credit to the Kiwi who got back. He saved a try.
Wayne Wallace, having landed up in the dirt.
Yeah, that was the penalty, I think, for the tackle made by Darryl Williams there. After he kicked the ball, Darryl went in with the tackle.
Happened off your picture. And we must say at this time, a very big welcome to viewers in Great Britain taking this live in the early hours of the morning. Your team looking good at the moment. Your commentator up here with us. Lachlan. No, flagged away. And the cheer from the parochial crowd.
Looks as though Shane Horror has taken the ball behind the line. No, it isn't. The referee's changed his decision.
Looked as though he may have ruled that initially that Horo had taken the ball back behind the dead ball line. Back in Great Britain half now. Ford. Beardmore back in the side as the specialist hooker. Great front row now with Waddell, Beardmore and Ward. And certainly Great Britain look as though they're going to run it. Confidence high now. Mercer. Out of the pass tackle. Caught by a fire.
That was well played by Gary Mercer there. He stopped the ball with his boot, and that's the only way to do it in these conditions.
Darryl Williams trying desperately not to lose the ball in the tackle. Brown just putting it back to Sam Stewart. And the Kiwis midway, halfway at 22 in Great Britain territory as Shalford takes it up. We have an injury back here to the Kiwi side. Looks like it's Shane Horo, is it?
Looks like Mark Horo on the ground here, yeah.
Yes, it is. The younger of the Horo brothers.
I think, Tony, that the Kiwis have really got to take advantage of this very strong wind and driving rain. It's been apparent already how difficult it is for Great Britain to kick their way out of defence. But those two penalty goals from Paul Lachlan, he's been in cracking form so far on this tour. They could be absolutely vital by the time we finish.
So Peter Brown, the designated kicker in the Kiwi side. Kicked 9 against Papua New Guinea last week. 9 from 12, which wasn't a bad record since most of them were right out by the sideline. Playing in his 4th test, Peter Brown. Yes! Well, it helps things along a little. 4-2. An unconverted try to a penalty.
It's a good kick by Peter Brown there. Would have given his confidence a lot of good. As we were saying before, the goal kicking is going to be a big bearing on this game, and Paul Loughlin's missed those two reasonably easy kicks.
Certainly a kick under pressure for Peter Brown, and he's produced the goods. Williams pumps off the first, into the second. Gregory catches up with him, along with Hanley. Kiwis not lacking for determination. Shelford. A little flick pass back, even in the tackle. Mark Graham gets the pass up again. Dean Bell. Bell out wide, has the support inside. Shane Horo looking for more support. He hasn't stepped out. He comes back in. Takes the tackle. Some of the Great Britain players thought he had stepped out. He hadn't.
Great play, the Kiwis there. They're spinning the ball, aren't they? It's brilliant play.
And keeping it in play. Clayton Friend trying to palm it off. Couldn't quite. Play on, says the referee. Brown has it. Shelford. Oh, good barging, bustling run from Shelford. Friend. Cooper. Cooper trying to keep the hands free. Mark Graham ranging outside him. They're linking up well, those two. Peter Brown.
They're sealing it up for a move, I'd say, the Kiwis now.
Sam Stewart, again, keeping his hands free, showing the experience. Friend with a little chip through for Cooper. Cooper's not there in time. Kevin Hero is up running for it as well.
People back home in St Helens will appreciate those little grubber kicks from Shane Cooper. He was a master of that last season, and I think he'll be putting those to good effect, Tony.
Very clever playmaker, Shane Cooper. He's starting a professional career a little late in his life, but still an exceedingly clever player. 28 years old. Here's Gregory. He's the danger man. There's Lachlan. Lachlan getting his pass up. Ofire. Martin Ofire, one of the absolute speedsters in this Great Britain side. In Phil Ford at fullback has shown a great deal of pace in Australia. Lachlan with the chip through. Mercer almost got a hand to it. And once again, the kicking is very, very important.
There's good pressure by the Kiwis there. They took it to the British side, held it for 5 tackles, and then a little grubber kick by Shane Cooper and keep the pressure on Great Britain. But a good tactical kick by Paul Loughlan there, getting Great Britain out of trouble.
Clayton Friend to the scrum. Trying to fend off Hanley, but you don't do it that easily. Cooper, well caught. Kiwis being given just as little space as they're allowing Great Britain. Swapping direction, Sam Stewart and Mark Graham combining. The slippery ball combining to beat both of them.
Just like a replacement's coming on for the Kiwis.
Not quite sure who the injury is, but they're trying to make space now for Gary Freeman to come on.
Mark Horrow's going off.
Mark Horrow it is that's injured, which means Shane Cooper goes to loose forward, a position he is well familiar with.
Gary Freeman's gone to stand off half.
Now this might change the nature of the game as well. Cooper is an exceedingly clever playmaker, so is Gary Freeman, but Freeman's a different stylist. David Hume getting through, and Freeman gets a hand to his collar. He gets the ball up. Phil Ford up there, but can't hold on to it.
Really, Phil Ford should never have passed that ball. They made the initial break, they had the 6 tackles, and they've lost the advantage there of 5 tackles. New Zealand really must be very well pleased with that, Gary.
That's right. David Hume's having a good game so far, isn't he? He's made 2 good breaks, and as you said then, they should have held on to the ball, first tackle.
David Hume, one of those players that doesn't often stand out in a game, but does solid work and can be very creative. Not as flashy, perhaps, as Andy Gregory, not as noticeable in the side. Darryl Williams for the line. And now we'll see just what happens with this Kiwi side. Shane Cooper having moved to loose forward. Clayton Friend still at halfback. And Gary Freeman, the replacement back, has gone to standoff. Shelford. Brown. Sam Stewart had a strong game against Papua New Guinea, looking for another today. Mark Hoddle was too, but he's gone. Oh, look at Mark Graham. Gets the hands free, but the pass was a little astray, really, and they've lost possession.
I think one very good thing here, the referee from Australia, Mick Stone, playing the advantage law very, very nicely, Tony. There's going to be a lot of loose ball, there's going to be a lot of drop ball, and he's obviously decided he's going to let it go.
And on a slippery day like today, what a good decision. Ward. Trying to get the pass away, but well held. Gregory keeping his hands free, but pulled down by Kevin Ito. The centres have obviously decided, along with the rest of the Kiwi side, that you've got to tie up Andy Gregory. And I think they could pay a little more attention to Hume as well.
That's right. 2 halves are playing good games for Great Britain, and very dangerous men.
Good possession stolen by Eddie Shelford. Great Britain didn't like it, obviously. It's Gary Freeman. Gary Freeman looking round for the support. He's got hold of Satan. He's going all the way himself. Oh, yes!
Brilliant try, brilliant try.
Wow, how much difference did Gary Freeman make coming on the paddock?
Yeah, you said that, Tony. You said he'd make a bit of a difference with the speed, and boy, oh boy, really turned on the goods then, didn't he? Mark Graham here in at dummy half. Good long passes here. Shane Cooper cut out Darryl Williams. And look, Dean Bell was actually hit off the ball there, so good decision by the referee by letting it go. Gary Freeman went right to the corner for a great try. Good try to the Kiwis, just what they wanted.
Well, he's a different character in terms of his play than Shane Cooper at standoff. An entirely different type of game, but obviously what was required at that moment.
Yes, there he is again, Gary Freeman. 2 dummies he actually threw there and went over in the corner. Great try for the Kiwis. Yeah,
very, very clever play there from Shane Cooper. Notice how he cut the play out. He caught David Hume in 2 minds, and a beautiful dummy there from Freeman. I mean, under these weather conditions, that's class rugby, Gary.
That's right. Under dry conditions, that would have been a great try, and the Kiwis are really trying to throw the ball around.
Well, who were those of us of little faith who said that this would become a tactical and kicking game? I think we've been proved wrong already. Peter Brown, the 25-year-old from the Te Atatu club in Auckland, playing in his 4th test and looking to put the extra points there. New Zealand take the lead by 2. Perhaps this is 4. Oh, not quite able to sneak over. Flagged away. There he is, Gary Freeman, the man who put them in the lead. And now his confidence will be up. And I think the talk level will be up too.
I think so. The boys will be really pleased with that try and going into the lead. But they have to score more points, I think, especially with a strong wind in this first half.
So Lachlan to restart. Goes to Stewart. Stewart running it back. Beardmore getting a little physical in the tackle. Williams trying to catch Ford out of position. Ford gets to it safely. And Dean Bell gets to him very quickly. Good tackling. Gill. Edison Gill caught. I think it's going to be intriguing when they start linking up now with Shane Cooper still on the paddock playing loose forward. He can still play a clever link game.
Oh, he certainly can. I've seen him play at loose forward before, and he's very good at the short passing game as well, bringing these men like Stewart and Shelford through. But New Zealand, I think, have got to play a very long-range kicking game. A tremendous win behind them. I don't think Great Britain will be too disappointed at this score at this stage.
6-4, the Kiwis lead Great Britain.
Great Britain tackling very well at the moment, aren't they, as well as New Zealand? And it's going to be whoever breaks the defence first, I think.
It's hard and rugged out there in the middle. The break's not coming very easily for the Kiwis. Freeman, well caught by Gregory. Not letting him up quickly enough.
That's right, he was holding him down a little bit too long there, and a silly position there really in front of the post.
That's the second penalty of this match. It's in the identical position to Peter Brown's first goal, and really I don't know what Ellery Hanley's complaining for. It's indiscipline at the play of the ball. The British team have been plagued with that right throughout Australia.
And I'm sure he doesn't really need Andy Gregory to give him moral support in talking to the referee. It's certainly kickable for Peter Brown. Peter Brown with the build of a prop and a very relaxed kicking style. He does have a good range without actually stretching himself.
That's right, he is, and he's been kicking really well this season and kicking with a lot of confidence. I think New Zealand need these 2 points, Tony, real bad, because of the strong wind in this first half.
Peter Brown certainly cementing his place as a prop in this side. There has been something of a dearth of good props in the last couple of years of residence in New Zealand. Yes, it's there, the extra points for Brown. Well, a costly mistake by Mike Gregory.
The atmosphere's electric here today, isn't it? Really lift the boys up.
So midway through the first half, and the Kiwis lead by 8-4. Kick to Stewart, taking no chances. Right on the 22-metre line now. Wallace waiting. Went a little far for the pass to go to Shelford, who was waiting. So Darryl Williams. There's Mercer. Wayne Wallace just talking there, trying to settle him down. Really got caught when he shouldn't have.
Yeah, I think they're looking for the kick to get the kick downfield.
Freeman running out of support. Playing it quickly. Friend.
Good ball.
Was a good pass to Dean Bell.
That wasn't only just a good pass, Tony, that was superb play at the acting half-back position. And I think the team that commands the acting half-back position comes away short, puts the passes out, they'll command the midfield.
Great Britain back in their own half, running up to the halfway line now. That's the halfway line on the left of your picture.
I really do think that there's a lot of indiscipline going on here in this match at the play of the ball. Number 12 there, Sam Stewart. Discipline will win this game. The conditions are bad, the emotions are high. The side that keeps his head will win this game.
In terms of that particular offence, that's 1 apiece now. The Kiwis' offence not quite as costly in the end result, although it may be from here. Watch Great Britain attack. Ward hauled down. They're ready to run it. Waddell. Gregory looking to change direction, and straight through on him very, very quickly was Cooper.
It was well read by Shane Cooper, knew what the move was on, and didn't hit Gregory.
Certainly no less energy in the tackles now than there was in the first 4 or 5 minutes. Gregory. 5 tackles on Great Britain. Watch for the bomb now. Andy Gregory tries to put a check through. He's taken out late. And again, Ray, indiscipline.
Well, again, discipline there. This should really be a penalty. I don't honestly think that referee Mick Stone has seen this, but just look at that. That's a high tackle. No need for that. There's been a lot of niggle between these two little men, and it's certainly boiling over now.
They are so alike. Clayton Friend and Andy Gregory, they are both showy halfbacks. They are both exceedingly talented players and both very, very aggressive.
And both, unfortunately, can lose their heads in a match. Both of them are superb footballers if they just keep their temper.
Gregory's still down. The play goes on. Ford in the line. Gets the pass back to Waddell. Waddell trying to make some ground. Gregory is up again now. He's a little groggy, but he's back in the game. Here, more to a fire. A fire well caught. The Kiwi tackling good. They're making no ground at all. Just inside the 22-metre line. Here's Gregory. Andy Gregory puts the pass up. Oh, yes! Yes!
There's a lot of forward pass. Andy's not too happy about that, but that was good play by Kevin Ward there. They're very unlucky.
Well, that move produced a try that was disallowed in the first test in Australia. It produced a try in the third test, and it'll be interesting to see here just how this ball is. Is it a forward or is it not, Tony?
Well, it looked all right to me. It was a slip pass and it looked level. I couldn't see that as forward.
Yeah, from our position, Tony, I agree with you there. It looked as though it was marginal, but I think he gave it to the benefit of the doubt of the Kiwis there.
I think perhaps a little lucky, that ruling in favour of the Kiwis. Wallace puts the kick through, finds no one at home. Ford takes it up. Dean Bell completes the tackle for Wallace. Wayne Wallace having an excellent game. Gill back on into the tackle. Waddell still standing. Gregory gets the pass away. It's that man again. Gary Freeman. What an effect he's having on this game already. So quick, so nippy, up there to steal that ball. Mercer. Oh, yes. Gary Mercer just slipping over. May have come inside Ford there. Had Bell in support. Peter Brown. Right up within 12 metres of the line now. The Kiwis making good ground. The intercept by Freeman gave them the initial break. It's bounce and bobble. Mark Graham plucks it out of the air, but they've been brought back.
Gee, this is exciting stuff, isn't it? For these conditions, the Kiwis and Great Britain are really playing good football.
I think they've decided on the gamble, and perhaps there is a lot of luck in it, but the Kiwis have the ball skills to match Great Britain. And I think it's really in the favour of the people watching the game. Here's Gregory. Have a look. The little pass, and straight there was Gary Freeman. He's such a quick little man.
Certainly, Tony, I don't think anyone before this game could have dared hope they would have seen so much open play. I think both sides realise they've got to get points on the board as conditions will no doubt deteriorate.
Certainly we didn't think so, Ray. This is not the first time that these two teams have surprised us in terms of the way they can play in adverse conditions. Just the professional level of the game and the level of the ball skills and confidence. Lachlan, one of the few that's managed to stay relatively clean up until that tackle by Wayne Wallace. Hugh flicks up the pass to Kevin Ward. Ward and Waddell, the props for Great Britain. Not out. Shane Hoddle keeping it in, and possession for the Kiwis. Take the tackle, let them set up. Most of the Kiwi forwards are a little slow to get back. They're standing quite deep now. One or two of them standing still. The last 5 or 6 minutes of play have taken their toll in these conditions. 80 Shelford puts the pass back to nowhere. Cooper can't get it, and Great Britain steal.
Great Britain, Coach Mel, really done a lot of work with people going down for those low balls on the floor, and it's certainly paying off here.
There's going to be no shortage of it today. Even players of this level of skill are still going to fumble a ball that is so slippery. And in conditions underfoot that are so slippery. Gregory running outside him, the forwards have been. Most of the game so far. 10 minutes remain in the first half. The Kiwis leading Great Britain by 8-4. Little chip through part of Gregory's game. Picked up nicely by Kevin Elo. A good take. Very safe. Peter Brown.
For these conditions, Tony, the handling has been impeccable, really, isn't it?
Certainly of very high quality. I guess we've come to expect this level of ability now from these players.
Very impressed with Sam Stewart doing an awful lot of work in midfield, Tony, running very, very well. But the tackling of both sides, let's be quite honest, we've got to commend it. It really is strong and powerful. And that's what's causing a lot of these spill balls, Tony.
Yes, it's perhaps not fair to criticise players for fumbling a ball when they've been pressured into it, as has been the case. Both of these sides excellent in defence. Plenty of talking going on in the front rows. Pass away. This is a little of the brilliance we've come to expect from Clayton Friend over the years. Kevin Elo can't hold it. Mercer's in there to pick it up. Referee was about to say play on, but decided to bring them back.
Yeah, that was brilliant play by Clayton there, wasn't it? Just went straight through the whole forward pack practically. He linked up really good there with Kevin Elo, but he just couldn't hold the pass.
It's a while since we've seen the flashes of it. We all know he can do it. But just look at how nippy he is on his feet. Being as light as he is and as low to the ground, he can do that on a dry paddock, but he can do it more so on a wet paddock in comparison to the people trying to catch him.
That's right. The Kiwis could have scored here. It was just a little bit unlucky that Kevin couldn't hold on to the ball.
Hard luck, Kevin Elo. The Kiwis have lost possession. Lachlan.
This boy, Paul Lachlan, being one of the huge successes of the two. A very big, 6 foot, 15 stone long striding. Had a very good effect coming in from deep.
Very similar build to his opposite today, Kevin Elo.
Very similar, and of course, back home in England, we well know Kevin Elo's talents.
Oh, Great Britain the same problems with this bobble ball. And it really is a credit to both sides that they continue to throw it around as much as they do. We couldn't have asked for better style of football. Gregory with the bomb. I don't think he intended it to go as shallow as that. Sam Stewart under it.
Gee, that was well taken by Sam Stewart. He's having a top game, isn't he?
Always a toiler. A little hard to stay upright there. Hume tackling Freeman. Freeman didn't like it too much and told him so. Here's Bell. Shelford bumps off the first one and the second and the third, and still nearly able to get his pass away.
And he's enjoying it too, Tony, isn't he?
He's loving it.
That was a brilliant kick, wasn't it? And that's what the Kiwis have to do in this first half. Is the tactical kicking has to be superb, doesn't it?
Not too much to complain about so far. Well, I'm sure that the spectators who've turned up today. This ground was sold to capacity, and not all of them have turned up because there are spaces. I'm sure those who turned up are glad they did.
I think one interesting factor is that there was some not too much surprise when Mulready put Kevin Beardmore back in as hooker after the tremendous performance of Paul Hume. But I think he's probably been proved right here. The scrums are going to be vital, Tony. Possession now really is 9/10 of this game.
I think you've always got to have a specialist hooker if there's one available. And while Hume, no discredit to him, he had done an excellent job, Mulready, I guess, had to opt for the specialist hooker. So played midway 22 and halfway line. Going back towards the 22 as Lachlan puts the boot through. Coming back for it is Williams. Just managing to stay in, or did he? No. Put a foot out.
Yes, he tried to keep the ball in play there, but it was a bit unlucky by Darryl there. But good tactical kicking again by Paul Lachlan, getting Great Britain out of trouble.
Just have a look at the take by Darryl Williams. On any other ground, on any other day, there was nothing wrong with the take at all. But that's just how slippery it is.
Yes, definitely out there.
Clayton Friend steals the ball out of the scrum. But they've been penalised. And this is kickable for Lachlan. If it were not a scrum infringement. Cannot, of course, have a shot from a scrum infringement. So Lachlan for the line.
An important position here for Great Britain, Tony. 5 minutes to go in this half, just trailing by the 8 points to 4. They really need to take advantage now of these 6 tackles and push it towards those posts. And even could be worthwhile coming away with a drop goal, Gary.
That's right. I think it's very important for both sides this next 5 minutes, especially Great Britain right up in New Zealand's 22. Really putting the pressure on.
Ellery Hanley gets through the first, almost through Sam Stewart's as well. Beardmore waiting, on fire, looking to link up, but Clayton Friend was on top of him quickly. Good tackling by the Kiwis. Great Britain desperate for a try here. Yes, they're going to run it through. No, caught. Well, looked like a gap was opening up nicely there, and it closed as quickly as it opened. And the Kiwis rallying very well in defence. Mark Graham with the big arms wrapped around him. Gregory loses the ball. And a lost opportunity for Great Britain. Peter Brown. Mercer.
I can't understand New Zealand playing this ball in their own 25 yards. They've got a gale force wind behind them, Tony, driving rain. Literally, Darryl Williams should be pumping this ball downfield. Well, he is doing now.
He must have heard you, Ray. And straight to Ford. Ford bringing it back. Skirting around a few of his own players and finally solidly caught. And we're right on the halfway line.
Exercise injured himself.
Yeah.
No tackle.
See if we can get another look at that. I think it may have just been the awkward way he fell on the slippery ground.
I think so. Very elusive player as full forward. He plays well on the wing and at fullback. It looks as though, yes, he's twisted his ankle in the mud, I think.
Ideal conditions to injure yourself. Is he going to get up again and be all right? He's a little rocky on it. I think we may see a replacement on shortly. Darren Wright or Paul Hume are the replacements for Great Britain. Hume perhaps the more versatile of the two.
Yes, Paul Hume very versatile, and that was one of the reasons why I think he could also put Paul on the substitutes bench. He can play the hooker as we've seen, second row, half back. He's the ideal man to come on, Tony.
Wayne Wallace there just put a little bit of a head-eye tackle, and as Ray was saying before, it's just discipline and has put Great Britain back on the attack now.
Probably wasn't that harmful, but was apparent to the referee. And being an Australian referee, he's going to pick up on it very quickly. So a little bit of indiscipline from both sides still. Was tackled by Adrian Shelford, not high but hard. Beardmore trying to find space, and his opposite number, Wayne Wallace, grabs him eventually just a couple of metres short now. Gregory trying to go himself. Has Mike Gregory beside him. If he could have got the pass away, they might have been in there. Looking for space now. Yes! Hume, is it?
David Hume, a good try.
Yes, David Hume, a standoff. Levels the scores.
Yes, it was good pressure by Great Britain there. And Kevin Beardmore come from dummy half. Ellery Hanley, a good slip ball here. Gave it to David Hume, little step, and in these slippery conditions, no one can stop you like that. And a good try to Great Britain.
No doubt about it that this boy David Hume, what a performance he's had on this tour. 3 marvellous performances against the great Wally Lewis, and here he is, the penultimate game, still got the skills, still got the grit and the toughness there to go over. Difficult condition, but as you say, Gary, what a beautiful ball from Ellery Hanley.
It was. He sucked in 2 players there very well indeed, and then David Hume just stepped off his foot with the cover coming across.
The change of kicker, David Stevenson, taking over from Lachlan. Any reason for that, do you think, Ray?
Well, whether Paul Laughlin's lost his confidence with those 2 early kicks, I don't know. But David's a very good kicker. He kicks regularly for Leeds and has done for Wigan. But I'm never too keen, Gary, I don't know about you, about changing kickers midway through.
No, they tried. It looks as though Paul Laughlin has given it away, though, with the loss of confidence.
Away to the right with the wind, so the score remains levelled.
Of course, it's no good to New Zealand having a draw in this game. They must win, don't they? Great Britain can afford to have the draw.
Yeah, it would suit Great Britain very well, being 1 point ahead. That would certainly put them in that World Cup final to be played in England if they win it against Australia, or to be played in New Zealand if the Kiwis win. Half-time showing on the board now. So we're in injury time. The score's levelled at 8-all. And what has been an interesting, exciting test match for this first half. Brand looking for Bell. Williams. Darryl Williams trying to find some space. Just sliding over, sliding the ball back again to Mercer.
That was good play by Darryl there because he was sliding out. He kept the ball in play.
Freeman unable to stand as he took the ball. Peter Brown to Friend. Mark Graham trying to keep those arms high and free, but it's hard to do with 5 tacklers on you.
That's right, very difficult, isn't it?
Sam Stewart. My goodness, aren't Great Britain getting there quickly in defence?
That's right, they're coming in numbers too, and their defence is looking good at the moment.
Graham again, through Bell, Ero. Mercer.
He must be back to 1.
He didn't knock it forward. Friend, the quick pass. Sam Stewart
gone the wrong way.
Keeping his hands free, and outside him is Gary Freeman. Freeman being told to go as close as possible. That's lovely, constructive, creative play by the Kiwis. And finally, Freeman can capitalise.
That's rugby league at its best, Tony. That's brilliant play. Under these conditions, that is brilliant football.
The support play there from Gary Freeman was magnificent. He came around, he kept it moving, it looked to be dead, and then suddenly they're in for the killer try, and right on that half-time hooter.
It's like good passes here, especially from Adrian Shelford. It looks as though Sam Stewart should have went for the corner there, but he waited for his support.
And Shelford drew one.
That's right, and Gary Freeman came behind for the good try.
And Shane Cooper says, get over there, Sonny, close the angle.
Very vital at this stage too. It's right on half-time, and the Kiwis slipped in there. It all came back from that mistake by full forward from the kick-off. He dropped the ball in front of the post as Kiwis won the scrum and put the pressure on Great Britain.
I know we've said it before and talked about it, but this fellow, Gary Freeman, in any normal national side would be a first-choice halfback. If you didn't have somebody of the status of Clayton Friend, he would not be prevented from playing for his country.
Actually, Tony, he seems to be enjoying himself, the more the fact that he's out wider. I mean, he might have found the perfect niche for himself here this afternoon.
He's played stand-off before, but I think just a measure of what talent is around at the inside backs in New Zealand at the moment, that you can afford to have Gary Freeman on the reserve bench. A super player and a man I've always enjoyed watching. Peter Brown for the extra points. That one looked a little better, but it's away to the right. So right on half-time, or in injury time now. 12-8. Is he going to play on? No, he's called half-time. They were in injury time, so that's the way they go into the break. At 12 points to 8. And I think, Ray French, we've already had more than we could have asked for in terms of the conditions and the style of play we've seen.
We certainly have. We've had some excellent tries, we've had some cracking tackling, and we've had the sort of approach work that probably, you know, we'd normally see in better weather. Possibly New Zealand just about deserving the lead. They have taken their chances, although I think everything hinged on that try of Andy Gregory's with a little run-around movement with Kevin Ward. Possibly 12 apiece would have been a fair half-time result. But certainly, again, I don't think Great Britain will be disappointed. The strength of this wind, the strength of this rain, they should have the better of the second half.
It'll be intriguing to watch in the second half as we go into the break, with the Kiwis leading Great Britain by 12 points to 8. Will be French, particularly when you get people like Ward and Waddell, a similar build, and their jerseys aren't white anymore.
Well, they are a similar build. I understand, though, from David Howes, the business manager, before the match took place, that we should be changing the jerseys for the second half. And I hope we do, because there's nothing like coming out for a second half in new jerseys. Surprisingly, it does give you a sort of feeling of confidence, Gary, doesn't it?
That's right, especially for the second half when it's really, really wet and cold. You want your warm jerseys on so you can start playing open football again.
Certainly would not be very pleasant sitting around in the changing room during the half-time break.
I think this lad here, the big lad on the right, Paul Loughlin, he's going to be very influential in this second half. He's got to put the ball down deep in that 25-yard line and just hang on in there for Kiwi mistakes. The mistakes will come if you can just hang around the try lines long enough.
Now the Kiwis have changed jerseys as well. Dean Bell, Kevin Hilo, Adrian Shelford, Darryl Williams, Clayton Friend, Mark Graham, Peter Brown, Shane Hoddle, Sam Stewart, Shane Cooper, Wayne Wallace, Gary Freeman trailing them.
This pitch, Tony, hasn't cut up quite as much as I expected. It's in first-class condition. Surprisingly, the New Zealand authorities allowed a curtain raiser to be played. It was a good curtain raiser. It was well worth watching, the local schools here, but it hasn't cut up as much as I thought.
Well, we looked at it on Friday, Ray, and certainly it looked like it was a nice cushion under it, but it's become very slippery on top. It hasn't broken up underneath the surface too much. Just very, very slippery on top. Hanley. And now the Kiwis, having no doubt had a stern team talk about keeping the mistakes to a minimum. I couldn't think that Tony Gordon, the coach, would be too unhappy about their performance, nor Great Britain's for that matter. And I think Ray French is probably right when he says an even score perhaps would have been a fairer indication of the way the game had gone at half-time. Gregory with the kick. Williams in possession. Handles the ball nicely. Runs into the tackle very, very quickly indeed. Roy Powell having a good game in defence. Great Britain's second rower, tackling very, very well all day.
Yes, I think that's what the likes of Roy Powell, Ellery Hanley and Mike Gregory in that back three have got to do. They've got to contain the New Zealand side down here, wait for the knock-on, wait for the lost ball, and then pounce.
I think Kevin Ward's having a big game as well, Ray. He's really taking the Kiwi front row on. He's carrying on the form from Australia, isn't he?
Hanley salvages the ball for Great Britain. Gregory. Well caught. The Kiwis up on them very quickly indeed. Midway 22 and halfway line in the Kiwis territory. Powell just dropping it. I think he's regained it. We're going to come back for a knock on. Yes, we are.
Yes, very difficult conditions out there. We've seen 2 drop balls already in the second half. But Great Britain playing the right tactics there. Andy Gregory kicking it downfield and keeping New Zealand in their own half.
And that's the first strike against the head, I think, Tony, a valuable one.
First one of the game. A little bit of dispute there between Gary Freeman and Ellery Hanley.
Again, the penalty for holding down on the tackle. The referees warned them in the first half and they persist with it. Lack of discipline, that is, and a chance here for Paul Lachlan.
And we've got Lachlan back kicking. Now, I thought that Lachlan may have decided not to and lost his confidence. That's what it was for, I think, as much as holding him down.
That's right, look as though the swinging arm went in there by Gary.
A lot of pressure on young Paul Lachlan here. Great Britain missed the first of the 3 kicks, and this, in fact, possibly the furthest kick for Great Britain. The 3 ones, the easier ones, the 6 points really gone begging here. Lachlan will really be needing this one to restore his confidence.
I wonder if Mel Riley at half-time has told them to return to Lachlan kicking instead of Stevenson.
I think he may have done, because Lachlan is the regular kicker.
A few problems with the breeze, which comes and goes here. But Beardmore's going to lie down and hold the ball for him. Lachlan with the deliberate steps back. 6'3" and 14.5 stone, this fellow. And an excellent kicker. That's a little more like what he wants, I'm sure. So the gap closes to 2. As we said earlier, a draw will not bother Great Britain at all. That would give them a place in the final. New Zealand needs a win.
I think we'll see the big kick after a couple of drives here by Great Britain to put New Zealand back under pressure.
These conditions and this match remind me of the last match in the World Cup 3 years ago when Lee Crooks equalised from the touchline, and certainly we may be getting that by the end, Gary.
That's right.
The Battle of Elland Road. Lachlan with the kick through. And Mercer having a little bother with the turf. Kick through. Dale Williams going back for it. Hero picks it up.
I think again, Tony, I think tactically it's a bad thing to be kicking through with the play the ball here, because all that you're doing when it does go loose is giving another 6 tackles away.
The all-important possession in conditions like this.
You might as well just let New Zealand have it, let them play the ball here and just tackle them.
Well, perhaps we could toss a coin for possession. Kiwi's not as anxious to run in this last couple of moments.
They're standing a bit flat at the moment, but this is what they need, a good kick, but then again that was a bad kick, put themselves under pressure again.
I think you've got to appreciate the conditions now facing the Kiwis. That rain really is powerful.
Just gone off the boil a little, the Kiwis. Needing to bring the enthusiasm level up a bit. A couple of big spot tackles or a couple of breaks will do it for them as Mark Graham wrestles Powell to the ground. Gregory, good pass. Hume and Gregory running off Hume. Battle of the Giants there, Kevin Ward and Adi Shelford. Great tussle they've had today. Little chip through from Gregory. It's gone too far.
Still good play by Great Britain there. They're keeping the Kiwis pinned down their own 22, and that's what you need, little grubber kicks like that. But they've still got them in their 22, you see, so they're keeping the pressure on.
Mark Graham injured. Looks like he's just getting a re-strap from Glenn Gallagher, the physio. Shelford. So they'll need to retain possession now for a moment or two, the Kiwis. And make solid rather than spectacular progress. Sam Stewart. Almost up to the halfway line now, the Kiwis. Not a bad kick through for Ford. Ford looking to run away, but Shane Cooper was up there quickly. He'll tackle all day, Shane Cooper. There's a fair amount of banter going on there between Martin Offiah and Gary Freeman. Freeman's really having a battle of words with most of the people he tackles, I think.
I think this boy, Freeman, he tries to psych out one or two of his opponents, doesn't he? And he's probably picked on Martin there. He's an ex-rugby union recruit. He's only been in the game 12 months, and he may not be used to it.
Backwards. As the attempt to tackle Darryl Williams didn't pay off. Gary Mercer.
That's the sort of running the Kiwis have to do. Gary Mercer, they're running straight into a gap. Let's start doing that. They're queuing up now, though, the Kiwis.
They've suddenly come alive again as Adi Shelford runs it up. Graham back in. That is characteristic of his game, the little slip passes. That didn't pay off that time. So Hanley comes up with it. And Great Britain in possession now. Gregory to Hume. Hume well held. And Mark Graham and the way he wraps his arms around their shoulders prevent the ball being thrown away. He's probably one of the world's most accomplished players. That's Adi Shelford with a similar style of tackling.
Gee whiz, that was a big hit, wasn't it? Adrian Shelford, he just flattened the Great Britain player there. I think he's winded.
Well, I don't know about you, Ray, but I certainly wouldn't want to run into him.
Well, certainly not, and Hugh Waddell is down there. That really was a pile driver. And I think one of the problems here, and I think maybe we're a little bit critical of these forwards, the conditions underfoot are very, very difficult to get yourself running and come from any distance.
As a result, we're not seeing too many people running onto the ball. Lots of attempts to create things, but the opportunity's not being presented. Stevenson.
I think we need a lot more running actually from the acting half-back position to bring in these New Zealand forwards. They are lying out wide.
They seem to go in fits and starts as that is too deep again. On those occasions when they do start to run and run off each other, they really look as if they're going to gain ground every time they touch the ball.
That's right. Here's the tackle made by Adrian Shelford here. Look at this. Bang. What a tackle. Perfectly good tackle, that too.
Well, legal anyway. Mercer. Shelford again. Ward tries to hit him back and it didn't work. The pass goes astray, but it was knocked forward. That was Kevin Ward trying to repay the compliment, and it didn't really work. He just bounced off.
No, it didn't quite come up, but I think there'll be plenty more tacklers like that.
Great Britain ball. Ford up there, Lachlan. Earol still tackling well.
He's a fiery little player, isn't he, Gary Freeman? He's always in amongst everything.
It's amazing. He really is trying to psych them all out. Gregory, who to some extent has been nullified in this game. They knew they had to. Another tackler's getting up very, very quickly.
Shane Cooper doing a lot of good work there, Tony, from the second man at the acting half-back, coming up on the right-hand side there and cutting down Britain's options.
Britain out wide with Lachlan. Has he got the support? Ball lost and Mercer comes up with it, so the Kiwis in possession. Really, it's the luck of the draw in so many of these cases. The pass is going astray and the ball being lost in tackles as Bell runs it. Mercer had an excellent season with Bradford Northern, Gary Mercer. Not as much has been heard of him as those with the glamour clubs like Wigan. He got hurt in that. Shelford.
It's very debatable to see who the advantage will be with. You know, Great Britain should be very, very fit after a tour, but coming to the end of a long, hard, grueling tour, New Zealand playing really a one-off test match. It'll be interesting the last 10 minutes.
Will be intriguing, Ray. I think there aren't too many question marks over the fitness of this Kiwi side, but as you say, the touring side should theoretically have the advantage. Ford trying to slip away from the tacklers, but Clayton Friend is determined. And along with Freeman, pulls him down. So Great Britain back near their 22-metre line.
It's the first time we've seen Henderson go touch the ball today.
Certainly hasn't had much to do with the game, has he? And again, the kicking tactic. Darryl Williams in position. Can't quite hold it, but it hasn't gone forward.
The big long raking kicks by Paul Lachlan there, that's exactly what Great Britain need. Okay, he's kicking it straight to the fullback, but still he's keeping the Kiwis down their own half.
Kevin Ero once again being contained. I think Great Britain have done a superb job of containing the centres today. Neither Dean Bell nor Kevin Ero has really been given any space at all. And it has to be a very, very clever defensive side that can contain two centres of that quality. Friend chips over. Cooper chasing it through. Ford's there, and Friend has him. Good tackling. Clayton Friend and his cousin Dean Bell.
These two half-backs, Freeman and Clayton Friend, are like little terriers snapping around at the ankles of these Great Britain prop forwards. They're doing a grand job in midfield for New Zealand.
Both of them super tacklers, as well as being attacking footballers of great talent. And the Kiwi crowd love that. The kick again from Lachlan. And once again, straight to Darryl Williams. Williams gets the pass up to Errol. Errol down the sideline. That's his forte, but he's forced out.
So situations that Kevin Ero usually scores tries, but he just got pulled back by his shirt there.
Really has been a story of this game, though. They've done a tremendous job, Great Britain, in containing both Bell and Ero. Darryl Williams up to make the tackle with Freeman. Freeman has got through a tremendous amount of work since he came on the paddock. As Ray French said, he and Clayton Friend just at them and at them. Bad ball and knocked on. A fire. Picks it up, but they'll come back. Referee waiting to see if any advantage accrued, but it didn't, so they're coming back.
Yeah, Martin Offiah there threw the ball to the ground, and I think he realised that that could have been a scoring opportunity for a player of his pace.
That's right, it looked as though he was in the clear there, wasn't it? But Andy Gregory was running with the ball here for the first time, I think, in the second half, and I think he has to do this more to try and dictate play.
And I noticed the man about to tackle him, shaping up to him, was Wayne Wallace again. What a tremendous job he's done in defence today. A couple of try-saving tackles. Freeman. I notice Ward trying to keep Freeman away from Andy Gregory there. The two of them have had a fair amount of banter going on. He obviously thinks that discretion's a better part of valour, and it might be a good idea to keep the two of them apart where possible. It's Mark Graham. It's like a recurrence of the same minor injury he had a little earlier on. Let's just have a look again at it and see if we can detect where it came that time. Certainly knees and ankles are going to be suspect today in these conditions. Well, it could have been any one of a number of movements there. A little hard to see.
I think he might have just caught a boot on his knee by one of those players that came over the top of him there.
You might be right. Might have been just a knock. Certainly they would not want to lose Mark Graham.
The way this game's shaping up, you know, Tony, I think this is going to be solved by one break. It's going to be one try, I think, at some stage in this match. One loose ball, somebody pouncing on it, because there looks absolute stalemate out there.
There's really nothing between them, is it? It's an excellent match. Gregory with Friend right on his tail. Oh,
The two little men.
a couple in combat.
That's worried me a little bit about the Great Britain play in the last 5 or 6 minutes. The acting half-back has looked for support. It hasn't been there.
They do seem to be tiring just a little, apart from little fellas like Andy Gregory.
Yeah, it just showed there, Ray, that there wasn't any support with him.
Almost midway through the second half now. Still 12-8. Sorry, 12-10.
Yes, New Zealand caught inside the 5 metres there, and now they've put themselves really under pressure. They have to withstand this Great Britain onslaught.
Here's a test of tackling now. Let's see how well the defence can hold. Ward trying to step through.
This is the best part of the pitch as well there, Tony. It's the part that's not been cut up.
It's a place where there is a little bit of grip underfoot. Gregory keeping his hands free. Sam Stewart once again the tackler. Very high tackle count for Sam Stewart. Hanley looked to put the kick through, decided not to. Mark Graham pulls him down, along with Freeman. Beermore. Oh, excellent tackle from Mark Graham, but he slipped the pass away. And now just 3 metres short, Beardmore. Can Great Britain do here? This is the test. And the fire finally puts it out.
Yes, Great Britain trying everything there to try and split the New Zealand defence, but the defence is pretty good. Sammy Stewart made a good try-saving tackle just in front of his post there.
He's been getting through a tremendous number of tackles, Sam Stewart. Oh, this is great running from Ford. Almost in a gap there.
Good fullback tackle by Darryl Williams, marking his man.
Williams up very quickly. Hanley.
This is good sustained play by Great Britain and good hooking from Kevin Beardmore. He's trotting that ball out of the scrums now and putting the pressure on the Kiwis.
And good tackling so far from the Kiwi side. They've held well. Great Britain no further ahead. Certainly probing every which way.
Oh, he's through.
Well, it was close to gone. Clayton Friend making the tackle. Gregory. Dummy still gets the pass back, the slip pass. Going to no one, but Gregory's there. He gets it back. Waddell caught. Oh, picked up. As Gary Freeman tackled Waddell, the ball came free and Hero picked it up, so a let off for the Kiwis. Mercer.
Yes, there's a lot of pressure on the Kiwis there, and they kept them out well. Great Britain was throwing the ball around, and but they kept them out.
So the Kiwis on their 22 now, trying to run it out. Dean Bell. Williams with the big kick. Gill traps it with his foot. Running it back now. Probably anxious to do something in this game. He's hardly been seen with ball.
See, little Andy Gregory there lost. No one coming up, no one got back. A tackle wasted.
Yes, I think a lot of the forwards are getting heavy legs now. It's been a really 100-mile-per-hour game, and they're slowing down a bit.
Darryl Williams. Shane Hoddle.
Just needs one break, I think, Tony. Just one break by either side, and I think it'll clinch the game.
I think a look at Shane Hoddle's jersey tells you he hasn't had a great deal to do in the second half either.
But it's still New Zealand with that vital 2 points, Tony, isn't it? What, 12-10, 20 minutes to go.
Something's got to give. Absolute stalemate now for nearly 10 minutes. Gill again. Freeman up there, slipped away from him, and now there's 4 of them. 4 tacklers making sure.
Oh, good ball. Good play, Great Britain.
Hanley in the clear. This is better running from Great Britain, and Lachlan. Afire can't pick it up again, and Afire is having the same problems as Kevin Ito's been having for New Zealand.
It was a very ambitious pass, but it was worth the pass because it could have been a try-scoring pass. Luckily, Great Britain got it back.
Gregory. Great Britain player down. I think it was Paul Lachlan. Stevenson chips it through, and it's out. I think he was taken late too.
There are some very tired men on there, Tony. Just look at them walking to that scrum. They're taking a breather, they're taking the time. This is really sapping them now.
It's been that sort of game, isn't it? An absolute stalemate. No breaks being made, everything being covered. It really is energy sapping. There is nothing to elate the players. I think a try would make the world of difference to either side at the moment. In terms of reviving the sapped energy, as Gregory has found very, very quickly on Friend. Freeman running straight into Beermore. I think that tackle hurt too. Shelford. And a huge hit on Shelford from Kevin Ward.
So they've had a titanic battle today, haven't they? Kevin Ward and Nugent Shelford.
Battle of the Giants. Well, the Kiwis doing everything right in terms of linking, but the cover from both sides just so good. See if we can get a look at that. It's Freeman. Just having a look at it again. The pass from Friend to Freeman. Wow, it's a little hard to tell. It could have been several things within that. A hard head-on tackle.
I think a lot of these injuries now could be due to the tiredness and to the cold, Tony. I think this is what's happening to a lot of these players.
Gary Freeman just breathing a little heavily there. And the kick to relieve a little pressure. Waiting to be put onside as Ford picks it up. A fire. Tackled by Stewart. Yeah,
the pressure is really on both defences now, isn't it? One slip and could be 4-6 points. Both defences have to...
I think, Ray, it's a credit to both sides just how tight the defence has been.
Oh, it certainly is. We've seen some tremendous tackling, and we've seen some very fair tackling. Good shoulder tackling, good cover tackling around the legs, and it's been a credit to the game.
Yeah, that one slip might cost the team, the World Cup final. So it's going to be very, very important this last 15 minutes.
Loose ball. Hero trying to dive on it. Ford came up with it.
We talk about slips, Gary, and I hate to bring it back, but I keep thinking of those 3 kicks at goal in the opening 10-15 minutes that Great Britain had.
yes, Paul Lachlan would be very disappointed he missed those kicks, especially 2 of them were within his range, and the way he's been kicking on tour, he'll be kicking himself only.
And the little niggling injury is starting to come thick and fast now. A lot of these players obviously feeling the chill out there.
Interesting to see Paul Lachlan there and David Hume jumping up and down, shaking their arms. The chill, the cold is really getting in there, and that's when you start to pick up these little injuries.
Even on a mildly cold day in Christchurch, this ground in particular seems to provide a funnel for a cold easterly or southerly wind. Obviously, several of the players really starting to feel that, along with the wet clothing, which is not helping either their fitness or agility. A nice snaffle from Wayne Wallace, but he's on the wrong side.
Well, Wayne Wallace must be a contortionist if he can be hooker and suddenly take the ball up at the loose forwards for Great Britain. Either that or Houdini.
Lachlan for the line.
Pressure is really on the Kiwis now to keep them out. They must keep Great Britain out here.
So once again, a pressure situation for the Kiwis. Gone off the boil just a little again. Waddell, Shelford straight over the top. This is where they've really got a hole. Great Britain with sustained pressure just a few metres out from their line. Ward plays it. Gregory delaying the pass, trying to put Powell through. Plenty of tacklers there.
Good defence by New Zealand there. Looked as though he dropped the ball on the tackle, but New Zealand really getting across in droves.
Well, Mick Stone ruling a knock on. Hard to see from here, but obviously he did drop the ball and it went forward. Leighton Friend right on his own line now. Diving on the ball as it came out of the scrum. Williams trying to make headway. Great Britain still sustaining the pressure. They really have kept pressure on for a good period now as Mercer tries to run it out. Shelford. Both Ward and Waddell, the 2 props, taking care of Shelford. Peter Brown. The kick through from Wayne Wallace. Ward's there. Nowhere to go, and Freeman's over the top of him quickly. Stevenson. Well held by Hero. Leighton Friend still tackling props. He loves it. So Great Britain coming back again. That's the halfway line. Kiwis trying to force them into errors. The defence holding good. Can't quite see who the injured player is down there. It's a Kiwi player. Lay on, says the referee. A fire, just held back by Gary Mercer. And most of the British players appealing for a head high. But he's not going to give it to them. So the Kiwis retain possession. Shelford. Bends off one. Let's have a look at it again.
Well, a perfect tackle here by Gary Mercer. Look as though it was a little bit high, but it's around the shoulder, really.
Mercer. Gary Mercer, and all of a sudden the Kiwis come to light. Shane Hoddle. And he runs out of space as they close in on him.
I can't understand why Great Britain have not been putting the high kicks up in the air and testing Darryl Williams 15, 20 yards under the post. That's where a lot of these loose spillities come.
And the Kiwis with a chance. Beautiful passing. It's Gary Freeman. Gets back inside, and Wayne Wallace can't hold the ball. Going through
Gee, that was brilliant play by New Zealand under conditions again.
And look who was at the centre of it again. Gary Freeman. It was some lovely passing there, though.
Good backing up by New Zealand, wasn't it?
And it's amazing that the Kiwis, when they're given a yard, seem to actually be more effective against the Great Britain defence than vice versa. Look at it again.
Yeah, good pass by Dean Bell here, gave to Peter Brown, and that was a beautiful ball by Peter Brown to Gary Freeman, who should be backing up like he is. Looks as though he got a little bit lost there, but the pass to Wayne Wallace has just put the ground.
Yeah, Wayne Wallace almost in the tackle as he took it, and you can't blame him for hearing footsteps. So Great Britain ball. Ford looking for space to run. He's just 10 metres out from his line. Freeman the tackler, ever anxious to get at things. This is Gregory. Sam Stewart.
Yes, I think Ellery Hanley's had to go from the field. Paul Hume, come on. Ellery Hanley got a kick in the face after he played the ball deep in the New Zealand half. Certainly Great Britain battling against it now with the captain off. 10 minutes to go, 2 points down.
I wonder if the Kiwis will bring on Isini Faumalo as Lachlan runs it back at them. And finally, Clayton Tran makes a brilliant cover tackle.
That was a magnificent run, Tony, by this young fullback in conditions like this.
Now the ball goes out. Well, this game has had all sorts of play in it. It's been dull in patches, and it has been tremendously exciting in patches. And Great Britain, with sustained pressure for 7-8 minutes, right up on the New Zealand line, could not break that defence. They tested it every which way, and they just couldn't break it. And now the Kiwis breaking out just a little.
Yes, that was a good run by Paul Lachlan there. He really took on the New Zealand defence because he was shaping up the kick, and he ran very strongly and beat about 2 or 3 tackles.
Not an injury there to Clayton Friend, just mud in his eye. Darryl Williams right up, standing in close to the pack. Freeman waiting. Another of the Kiwi playing moves, didn't work that time. Shelford. Stewart. Adrian Shelford has really accounted for so much work on behalf of Great Britain's defence. He's committed them so often. He really must have tired out at least 3 of them. Tremendous game from Adrian Shelford.
New Zealand have come back very strongly in this game now, certainly, and Britain not really used the advantage of this wind in the second half.
Gregory hauled down by Brown and Graham.
New Zealand's defence really looking tight at the moment. There's no way through for Great Britain. They're trying everything, but the Kiwis are really getting up on them very quickly.
It's amazing how Adrian Shelford really does remind you of Dane Sorensen in a number 10 jersey, doesn't he?
He does. He's having a great game, Adrian, and he's taking the Great Britain front row on.
He has literally taken them on all day. Williams. Out to the 22.
Great Britain have got to keep New Zealand here. They've got to absorb these 5 tackles and then use it. And I would put the up and under in, under the post there, and really test the Kiwis. No full-back wants to catch a ball under his post in this weather.
Shane Hoddle pushed back. That's still the 22-metre line. Shelford. Shane Cooper just not able to hold on to it. Spilling. Fire picks it up and runs it back, and that's the 22-metre line again. So the ground really lost for the Kiwis. The slippery ball costing them. Just under 10 minutes remain in the game, and still this 2-point margin to the Kiwis. What a tight encounter it's been in the second half. Once again, Great Britain, let's see if they can sustain pressure inside the 22 for the Kiwis. Powell almost through. Cooper the tackler. No, Wayne Wallace the tackler.
See what they can do now. It's the last tackle.
Looking for Kevin Ward. Looking for the support. Ball bounces round. They've kept it alive. And that's 6. A handover. So now the Kiwis to run it out of there. Kevin Ito. Well, that's a meaner look than we've seen on Kevin Ito's face for a long time. I think he's getting fired up and realising that it's a frustrating circumstance and that to get out of this sustained pressure, they've really got to make a break. Mercer. And wouldn't it be good to see Kevin Ito come alive along with Dean Bell? Just over 5 minutes remain in the game and still that 2-point margin.
That was a very good tackle by David Stevenson there, coming in from the outside, clamping the Kiwis here. And that's a bad kick, Tony. That's a very bad kick. Puts the pressure back on New Zealand. But once again, early on, I couldn't see why Great Britain went through the 6 tackles there. Surely, on that 6th tackle, put the ball up, make it a 50-50 ball, and even if New Zealand get it, you're still under pressure.
Well, it's really not on in a test match to hand over at the end of 6, is it?
Especially in that position, Tony, and inside the 22 like that. But they've won the scrum and the pressure's back on the Kiwis.
So a good battle between the 2 hookers today. Ford, that's the 22-metre line again. A little break for Gregory. Iro has him. And they've lost possession. Loses in the tackle. Freeman's with it. So the Kiwis with another chance now to get out of their 22.
Sure, he's still running strongly, isn't he? You know, 5 minutes to go and he's had a battering of a game and he's still running strongly.
And he's tied up 2 tacklers all day.
And these New Zealand forwards are making a lot of ground now.
It really is the Kiwis' forte, their ability to make substantial ground inside their tackles. Great Britain have prevented them doing it as well as they might have otherwise. Here's Mercer on the wing. A good pass and Freeman's inside, looking around for support. Comes back to Wallace. Wallace looking further. Yes. Dean Bell just couldn't find another runner. But the Kiwis right up now. Freeman's on the ground and injured. Mark Graham keeping the arms free, looking for the men inside and outside him. He had Stewart on one side and Peter Brown on the other.
And that's the 6th tackle. It was unlucky, the Kiwis. They really kept the British under pressure there with some good football. That was brilliant play.
Now, if they can maintain the same kind of pressure as Great Britain have and trap them down here, they're going to be in good shape. And the huge crowd starting to roar, Kiwi, Kiwi. They've been strangely silent for the last 10 or 15 minutes. Only 4 or 5 minutes remain in the match. And this is precisely the time when the Kiwis want Great Britain, right at this end, having been camped in their own 22 for so long.
That's right, they still should be putting the ball down to Kiwis' half. I can't understand why they're not.
Leighton Friend finally makes the tackle.
That was a tremendous run from prop forward there, Hugh Waddell. Lots of reserves of energy. It's still anybody's match, this.
Both Waddell and Ward have played so well. Sam Stewart the tackle on that occasion.
I thought he's ruled a double knock on there. It didn't look as though the Kiwi player knocked it on, but the ball was loose anyway.
Well, the clock is showing a little over 2.5 minutes remaining, and the Kiwis still with that margin that will put them in the World Cup final. A draw would put Great Britain in there. Kiwi possession again.
Bad mistake by Great Britain there, Ray, wasn't it? It was the first tackle, and they couldn't afford to lose that ball.
Cooper inside the 22 now.
The Kiwis really have only got to hold on to this ball for these final 2 minutes and keep Great Britain down here. They've got the vital 2-point lead.
And sure as heck going to give it a run at getting another 4. Friend, Leighton Friend looking around for another runner, but caught just a little slow to get that ball away. Cooper Cooper goes wide, it's intercepted and knocked on.
Well, my heart, being a good Englishman, was in my mouth there, because if Paul Lachlan had caught that ball, he might have got it to Martin Offier, and we could have spun a 90-yard sprint. But it's going to take something like that. Just look at this. It's an opportunity. It just doesn't come.
Amazing. The two tall men there. Paul Lachlan for Great Britain and Kevin Ito for New Zealand. There's a fair old tussle going on in the scrum, but it comes New Zealand's way as Darryl Williams is up in the line.
They just have to hold the ball now.
Full time showing on the clock. Mercer. There have been a couple of injury breaks, but I'm sure the Kiwis are just going to hang on here. Adrian Shelford. And we may yet see history made later in the year. If the Kiwis are in the World Cup final against Australia, thoughts are at the moment it'll be played at Eden Park. Mark Graham through just a metre short of the line.
Yes, he did the right thing there. He could have looked for players, but he just took the tackle.
All the fans desperately waiting to invade the pitch, and yes, it's a try. No, it's not. 5 tackles on the Kiwis, and he was just inches short. Cooper trying to scoop it up off the ground. There's Gregory for Great Britain. The crowd waiting to invade the pitch.
The only chance left now is for Great Britain to get this ball to Martin Offier on the wing somehow. And let's see some pace. But he's lost it again.
Great Britain not happy about that. Dean Bell comes up with the ball. There's a dispute. Mick Stone says knocked on. We'll scrum it. He's right. So the fans being asked to get back out of the field of play. They know full time is up on the board. We're in injury time. They're waiting to invade the pitch and to celebrate a great Kiwi victory, if they can hang on. The next time the ball goes out is probably going to be the end of the match. Shane Hoddle going back for it. Dives on the ball. Takes the tackle of Gregory. And that's it. It's all over. And the Kiwis are in the World Cup final against Australia. Hard luck for Great Britain. Certainly it was an even match, and as you said, Ray French, right at the start, luck played a huge part in it, and Great Britain, even though they camped on the Kiwi line well inside their 22 for the best part of 15 minutes, simply couldn't capitalise.
They couldn't capitalise, but they failed to capitalise in the opening 10 minutes. The try that was disallowed to Andy Gregory, well, it was one of those debatable decisions that will be argued about for years to come. And the 3 penalty goals, if one of those had gone over, then it would have been the other way and Great Britain would have been in. But all credit to New Zealand, a tremendous performance here in the mud at Christchurch.
I think they gave them a taste of Kiwi today.
Yes, I think so. It was a great win by New Zealand, and you could see the jubilation on the boys' faces. They know they're in the World Cup final against Australia. They're all really keen to play Australia, and boy, what a game that's going to be.
What a game this man has had, Adrian Shelford. And a nice gesture earlier today, the All Black coach, Alex Wiley, on behalf of the All Black team, sent a telegram to the Kiwis here, saying, give them a taste of Kiwi and all the best of luck. In previous years, the 2 codes have not been quite that close. It's nice to see that there is a spirit of friendship between them. And what a tremendous performance by both teams today. The luck of the draw was that the Kiwis, in the end, managed to hang on. All credit to their defence. It was a game of defence, and well done.
I think let's give some credit there as well to Great Britain. They've had a long, hard, arduous tour. They've been buffeted by injuries, and to come back and really to keep going like that for 80 minutes in those conditions, it's all credit to their fitness. But it all hinged, didn't it, on that opening spell.
I think, Ray, if you were a coach of either side, you wouldn't be unhappy today, would you?
Well, I think if I was a coach of the losing side, I'd be a little bit unhappy.
Spoken like a true British man. OK, that's the way it finished. New Zealand is in the World Cup final against Australia, which is likely to be played in the first week in October and is likely to be played at Eden Park in Auckland.